You're back in the Fantasy Bar. It's Friday, huge slate of games, and we are here with 6 of my favorite plays for you on this Friday night slate, including not one stack, but 2 of my favorite stacks on the night. Some bats I think are underpriced right now, some great power spots. We'll answer a tough who is my favorite starting pitcher question, and of course, give you my favorite play on the entire slate. Who we talking about? Only one way to find out. It's time to belly up to the Fantasy Bar. Welcome in, guys. Kicking off the weekend here with the Friday edition Bears Daily Fantasy Six Pack. Appreciate you for stopping by the Fantasy Bar and checking out today's video. Before we get into my favorite plays for tonight, do me a favor, hit that tip jar, and that is the thumbs up button here. Let's see how many we can get on this Friday night. My challenge to you, can we get to 200 thumbs up on the video? We'll see how we do tonight. Also, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the content. All right, couple notes, weather, couple spots look a little dicey. I don't think anything too crazy. And we have the Yankees with a projected run total of 39 in Coors Field. We are going to avoid that. Yes, play some Yankees, of course. Want to get you, as always, some plays outside of Coors Field. All right, let's dive in here with our first play in the outfield with Riley Greene of Detroit. So we talked about Riley Greene a couple times, and he's been good to us. Very slow start to the season, but this bat really starting to get it going. Over the last 10, really been locked in at the plate. We're talking 5 multi-hit games, 3 home runs, and 12 RBI for him over that span. Has just been absolutely hammering right-handed pitching this season, leading this team in both WOBA and ISO. And look at those numbers, that WOBA pushing 440 and an ISO way up at 320. Absolute elite numbers here for Riley Greene. Now, Sassoni struggled with lefties last season. Don't have a huge sample on him so far this season, so we won't put the stats up there, but not a good start against lefties. So could see a similar trend to what we saw in 2024. Great power spot here tonight for Riley Greene. All right, we're not done there with the Tigers. Let's add another piece in the outfield with Carrie Carpenter. So this is a duo we've had together. Going to go right back to the well here. Carpenter, kind of the reverse story of Riley Greene. Bat's been kind of quiet of late, which has driven his price down, likely drives ownership down as well. But great wake-up spot. We mentioned some of the struggles for Sassoni against left-handed pitching, and Carrie Carpenter, another bat that has absolutely crushed right-handed pitching. This goes back to the start of last season. WOBA over 400 and an ISO near 300. So huge sample here for Carrie Carpenter. What I really like, this guy absolutely crushes the 4-seam fastball, and that is the primary pitch for Sassoni against left-handed hitters at over 50% over the last year. 433 WOBA and a 417 ISO for Carrie Carpenter. Another good power spot here, and then Carpenter sends one into the seats against Mr. Sassoni. All right, let's go to starting pitcher next. This is a tough position tonight. We're going to roll with my favorite matchup, Yusei Kikuchi against Miami. So very tough here. Yes, you have Zach Wheeler. He's expensive, did not thrive in his last matchup with the A's. Some other names that are uninspiring. I like this spot for Kikuchi. Not a huge ceiling upside in the strikeout department, but I do like this spot for him to potentially hit that kind of ceiling, and the consistency in the floor has certainly been there in the strikeouts. We're talking 5 or more in 8 of his 10 starts this season, 6 or more strikeouts in 5 of those starts. So yeah, not a guy that's going to go out there and get you 13, 14 strikeouts, but if he can get us in that 6 to 8 range here, I love the spot in these prices for him. Now let's look at the projected starting lineup here for Miami. 3 of the bats against left-handed pitching, sitting above 31% strikeout rate, some of them near 40%. And when we shrink the sample down to the last 30 days, overall as a team, we're talking a strikeout rate against left-handed pitching at over 30%, which is a massive number here. So Kikuchi, not the most exciting name on the board, but this position is tough. Save some money here in a good matchup with the Miami Marlins. All right, my apologies to the FanDuel players out there. You know I love FanDuel. That's where I got my start, but they have not included the doubleheader here for Boston and Baltimore, and this is my favorite game. 2 targets, so we are going to roll with it here for the DraftKings players. FanDuel again, my apologies, but let's get rolling at shortstop with Gunnar Henderson of Baltimore. Now again, I don't like giving guys that aren't available on both sites, but I like this spot that much that I want to roll it out there. Obviously, game 2 of a doubleheader, so we'll have to make sure all of these guys are in the starting lineup. I'm expecting them to be in there, but we will adjust anything if we need to later on here this afternoon. But Gunnar Henderson, great buy low right now. This guy should be priced up near mid 5-6s. I get it. Baltimore's been a mess. he has not gotten off to a hot start. So let's take advantage of that. Paying these low prices under 5,000, still putting up some solid numbers, leading this team with a WOBA over 400 and ISO near 280 against right-handed pitching this season. And Giolito definitely on the back nine of his career here and struggling with lefties so far this season. 371 WOBA allowed, ISO over 260, giving up a lot of hard contact as well at 50%, and a barrel rate near 15% to left-handed hitters. Great spot here for Gunnar Henderson against Lucas Giolito. All right, let's go to the other side of that game with another DraftKings only play, unfortunately, in the outfield with Willer Abreu of Boston. So Abreu, kind of like Carpenter, bats kind of cooled off a little bit, but that's driven the price down, and we can take advantage. In fact, the price I had to go all the way back to April 7th to find a price this low on Abreu. Great history against right-handed pitching and doing it again this season. WOBA over 380, ISO pushing 280. And to all my wrestling fans out there, in homage of one of the best groups of all time, DX, I've got two words for you. Charlie Morton expected to start here tonight in game 2. That is a TBD. If we have to make any adjustments, we will. But if it's Charlie Morton, I love this Boston team. And Willer Abreu just too cheap at only 4,300. All right, it's time. Take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do, let's continue with our Beast of the Night contest. Easy to play. Hit that tip jar with the thumbs up button. Head to the comment section and guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my highest scoring hitter. Super easy here. Doesn't have to be the Beast. You don't have to name who it is. All you need is a number in that chat. And if your number is closest to the fantasy points on DraftKings for my highest scoring hitter of the 5 bats I'm going to give you, we're going to give you a free week of RotoGrinders Premium just for hanging out today in the fantasy bar. All right, let's wrap it up with my favorite play for Friday night. You know, Matt's the Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We promised you 2 stacks. We're going to stay here with another DraftKings only play, FanDuel. Come on, let's get this game on the schedule. But we are rolling with third baseman Raphael Devers, tonight's Beast of the Night. Outside of the Yankees, again, team total of 500 in Coors. This is my favorite spot with Raphael Devers. Really starting to heat up here over the last 11, 5 multi-hit games for him, 4 home runs over that span, crushing right-handed pitching. Devers' strong history against right-handed pitching dating back all the way to the start of last season. We're talking team highs in both WOBA and ISO. WOBA over 400, ISO over 300 against right-handed pitching. Morton, again, supposed to take the hill for the Baltimore Orioles tonight and checks about every box that we are looking for. 377 WOBA allowed, 244 ISO, hard contact rate at nearly 56%, and a fly ball rate over 38%. Tremendous power spot here for Boston. Raphael Devers, easily my favorite play on the board and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll do it for our Friday 6-pack once again. Apologies to the FanDuel players. I know we'll catch some flack on that, but I love that game and love the spot for Boston against Charlie Morton. So I wanted to highlight it here for all of the DraftKings players or anywhere else you're playing, or you could hammer it in the props market as well. Might put a couple picks up over on scoresandodds.com involving that game. So make sure you check that out as well. Tonight, Grinders Live at 5, and I'll be joining my boy Roth on Crunch Time, talking everything on this slate, last minute, taking your question, giving our favorite plays on tonight's slate. Make sure you tune in to that show starting about 6:10 Eastern. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Thanks again for hanging out today in the Fantasy Bar. Good luck on tonight's slate. Have a great weekend. Make sure you join us later. Talk some baseball, and we'll catch you next time next week for our next round of videos.
Thanks for checking out our videos. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more DraftKings, FanDuel, and other DFS content. And you can check out our daily live show schedule on RotoGrinders.com/videos.